Can McCaffrey do it again? It's the coach. You're watching Madden Football on EA Sports. Coming up, dual threat Christian McCaffrey. Fresh off a big game a week ago, as it'll be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Carolina Panthers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Just a spectacular afternoon for football here in the Tar Heel state of North Carolina as EA Sports welcomes you inside Bank of America Stadium in uptown Charlotte. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. This is taken at his 4. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is, and that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it is permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care, and when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
First carry now for Gus Edwards. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. Operating from the gun. Barkley. This is Johnson. He's got it. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Ready. 18 Gator. Come on, D.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 13 yards, first down, Panthers.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. Well, look at the Buccaneers starters now on defense. They were very good last week in the win over the Saints.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in, and run 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Edwards now on 1st and 10. And he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Another run, this time McCaffrey. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Well, at that rate, picking up 3 yards a carry, you and I both know that doesn't cut it in this league and trying to get first downs unless you're playing 4-down football. Then that's a whole different situation, but I don't think that's what they're trying to do here. 3rd and 4, though, is still manageable.
How about to start throwing the football. 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. He was looking to get that one to DJ Moore. And that'll bring up second down. 2nd and 10 now from the 27. Off play action. Barkley. And his throw's going to be incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here and 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
Well, Barkley. And he's got McCaffrey open, complete. And he'll be stopped here well short of the first down at the 24-yard line. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Even though they didn't find the end zone, they have to be pretty pleased with how they moved the ball on the ground because we know that that was one of their big goals in this game.
And that really goes through the entire offense because when you're running the ball effectively, just about everyone's involved. It's not just the guy carrying the football. It's everyone blocking for him, both inside and on the perimeter.
So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They'll be under the command of the former Florida State Seminole, the #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
Now, he wasn't playing that last game right here on earth, was he? I mean, there's just no way. I mean, that performance, that number of times getting the ball into the end zone, throwing it.
No interceptions,
No
too.
interceptions, took care of it. Yeah, he was a little otherworldly in his last performance.
They try and run on first down, but to no avail. Tackled for a 2-yard loss in the backfield. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now a handoff here to his running back. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about... Seven left.
Levi Wallace brought him down. 5 yards on the play. And it's 3rd down.
Ready. Black 22.
54 Mike. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you.
From the gun, Winston. He will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
We play to win. Let's go.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. Oh, another great move. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Off the play fake. Barkley. He gets it to Thomas. The last completion actually lost a yard, so now they'll need to convert on 3rd down. From the gun, Barkley. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket.
Here we go. Here we go.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
On 2nd and 10. Winston, and that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high power, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Here's Bradley Pinion now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time.
Let's go,
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. And they're coming off a 3 and out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 11 yards and a Panther first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. To throw again. Barkley gets this to his running back. It's Christian McCaffrey. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Barkley. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him. That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. First down, Winston. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, it's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it, and he'll bring it back to the 9-yard line. Well, they were obviously backed up, had a little bit of space from the goal line, snapping it from the 3, but still try to throw it, and...
Yeah, exactly. This is where hindsight is 20/20 comes into play, right? Seems like a good idea to throw the ball there. Maybe you'll surprise him and catch him off guard. Instead, you've created a turnover, put your defense in a bad spot.
3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. 2nd and 6. And that will be caught by Moore. He's got a Panthers touchdown. DJ Moore, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Panthers, they widen their lead.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor, in effect.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. A look at Jameis Winston now as he gears up to lead this offense again. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation,
he's got a man complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A big pickup of 38. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
About 3 yards there to the 27.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
They got to get it to the 21 here on third down. Working out of the gun, Winston. And a throw there going to be incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's McCaffrey. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Mike's by 4. Watch the curl, watch the curl.
This is McCaffrey. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible to something a little more advantageous.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Jameis Winston and company heading back onto the field now. And I never played quarterback, but I'm thinking as a quarterback, you're a little bit into the game now. Second quarter, you're losing. You're not playing well. Probably feels like a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Certainly does, but it's something that quarterbacks have to be used to because they're always carrying around that weight. So how do they adjust the weight? How do they make it work for them? How do they work against it? That's what we're going to find out going forward.
Yeah, he'll be trying to get all that weight off his shoulders here on this drive.
I think it's pretty safe to say that initially they had to be thinking about trying to get into field goal range. But after that shot right there, they've got to be thinking bigger right now.
And that was probably their thought offensively. If we hit this, great, let's go for the end zone. If not, settle for a field goal. Looks like they can try to hit pay dirt. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Sua Cravens with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Cooper was the intended target. Sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. And that's going to be incomplete. He was trying to go back to more there. 3rd down here.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
Well, Charles, you said you would be hesitant to throw it. They should run it. They did. Not only did they get space for their punter, forget that, they got a 1st down.
And I think that is a mild surprise because it's not exactly rocket science to think, run it here, don't throw it, take care of the football. I would have expected the defense to be a little bit better prepared than that.
Back to throw. Barkley. And some room to roam now. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. I don't know who all is to blame there, but I love seeing pick sixes.
Nothing like seeing someone pluck it out of the air and go the other way and see people try to change directions. Hard to do.
Zane Gonzalez on for the extra point. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers about set to go on offense. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as the season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. 2nd and 4. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Credit the sack to Vita Vea. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
Watch the whip.
Ready. 3rd down. Here's McCaffrey. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Let him know, let him know.
Operating from the gun. Barkley toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Throwing on 1st down. Barkley. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Vita Vea able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. So we have reached halftime here at a good one. 10-10 is our score. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, time for a trip around the league on this final weekend of September. will begin up at legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay. And it's the Cardinals who are out in front as that game draws closer to halftime. Christian Kirk, a touchdown reception. From there, we'll head to Washington to check out the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And in that one, it's the visiting Giants who have the lead. Sterling Shepard, a touchdown reception. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Miami Dolphins. Derek Carr leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been as tight as we expected, all tied through one half of play. For the call of the second half, let's get it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Jameis Winston and the rest of the Bucs set to begin this next drive. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say you want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. A big pickup there, 18 yards and a Buccaneer first.
It certainly feels like they're more. Stars at the tight end position there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
A good pickup there, 26 yards. And now he's really knocking on the door for 700. That is career catch 699. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. And he finds Howard complete. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. O.J. Howard, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs have taken the lead. And that drive happened quickly, which is great because they scored the points, but then their defense has to come right back out on the field.
It is exciting, isn't it, for the offense to do that? The defense is saying, okay, that's cool, but let's not make it a habit. We need to get some rest sometime.
And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game. Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now it's Edwards. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now. From the gun on 3rd down, Barkley, and that will be incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Bucs to take over on offense. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. Winston and the Bucs take over now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. To throw is Winston. Airing this one out for Evans. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
He is tough to bring down, Jameis Winston. Charles, I remember calling a baseball game of his. He played baseball at Florida State, too, and you saw his legs, tree trunks sprayed in to those baseball pants. I said, how could anybody bring this guy down?
And that's part of the beauty of his game because he has that toughness, that thick body. He may not beat you sprinting, but he's real sharp with his mind, and he knows how to get away from people.
It's a big play. Winston to Evans, 58 yards. That reception, it brings him up to the 700 plateau. He's at 700 career NFL catches now.
And that club in baseball, a rather exclusive club, and when we talk about all...
And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. A great effort there with touchdown number 7 on the year as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. This one fielded at the 5. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
It's been an excellent day for him running the football, no doubt, as he continues to soar well past 100 yards.
Yeah, it almost feels like he can just grab his briefcase and head home after putting in a full day's work at the office, doesn't it?
On the ground, McCaffrey. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Now a draw play to McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. From the shotgun to McCaffrey. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And they've got the lead here getting late into the 3rd quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
So they had the big loss on that 1st down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. Going to give this time to the tailback. They'll wind up getting 10 back there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5. Jameis to throw it. He's going to loft one deep left side, and that's caught inside the 35. That's a gain of nearly 40 yards on 3rd and medium to pick up the 1st. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
59, check, 59.
Now a handoff here to his running back. He'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what we said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season, as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. Gonzalez now to add the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Panthers coming out now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. And that's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
On first down, Barkley. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Throwing on second and long. Barkley, and that's complete to McCaffrey. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on fourth down. On fourth down, Barkley. He's going to look deep for more. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. And the Panthers turned away on fourth down. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
Sets him up nicely. First and goal. It was a pickup of 14. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal. They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's second and goal now. Throwing, Winston. Forced out, and he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A 6-yard touchdown run as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Gonzalez to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
Throwing to start the drive. Barkley caught left side. Bennett. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Here's second and 7 now from the 28. Here's a second and 7. That's to McCaffrey, complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
Looking to throw. Barkley. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 15 there, and the Panthers have a first down.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. From the gun, Barkley. And that'll be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Now this throw caught left side. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 14 yards, good for a Panther first down. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Barkley. And complete on the right side to Bennett. And oh, he coughed it up. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their...
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. Give him 30 yards there. Much more room to operate under after the big play. Here's 1st and 10. They're looking to throw this. Winston. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. That one goes for 24 yards.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
There's Evans again, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
And let's pin the mirrors back and go.
From the red zone now, Winston. Flushed out right. He'll try and run it. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Here we go. Here we go.
To throw again on 2nd down. Winston. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So time has run out on what will be a Tampa Bay victory. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime,